Mike Joseph here. It is Saturday, October 25th, I believe, 2025, October 25th, 2025, Saturday. So if you see there, if you make a right on Grove Street, actually, no, you go across, I think, the library, yeah, Grove Street, make a right. The library's right there. I just left the library. So this is Hyde Street, by the way. So yesterday, this long street here, what this bus is, this street where I'm headed right now, this is Hyde Street. I'm walking down Hyde Street right now. I don't normally ever go down Hyde Street because it's longer. Because Market Street, which is that red light, actually the second red light, maybe you'll see one red light, but it's right, really, really close. You'll see Market. There'll be a red light, then behind it you'll see Market. There's another red light. They're super, super close, but it's Market Street goes diagonal. So it's much shorter to go diagonal to Jones or Taylor Street instead of going this way where I'm going, where I have to go all the way to Ellis and then make a right. But if you so Ellis from here is going to be like 6 blocks or something. But if I go diagonally down Market and make a left, then it's only like 3 blocks to get to Ellis because you're going diagonally. Anyways, the reason I'm videotaping this walk right now, even though my hands are full and it's going to be difficult carrying all this stuff in one hand. I got 3 bags in one hand, but the reason I'm doing this recording is because something unusual happened yesterday as I was walking from the library. I gotta fix this. Oh my goodness. Everything is bothering me, right? Or is conspiring against me, it feels like, to make walking a little annoying. Let me fix this thing here. You're probably not going to know what I'm doing because you can't see. I got so much stuff in my hands. Okay. And I just feel like sometimes, okay. So I'm still going on Hyde Street. And thankfully when I get to where I'm going to show you, it's not that far. My recollection, it was not that far. So this is Hyde Street, and where are we here? McAllister. We're just gonna keep going straight all the way up to Ellis, but I'll probably stop the video before we get to Ellis. I'm just trying to show you one thing. So this is the direction I was going, and so give you a quick rundown. There's something called, there are devices called directed energy weapons. You can Google these, go to Wikipedia, you'll see a whole topic on directed energy weapons. They're regarded as non-lethal weapons, but that's not true. Anything that's energy, if you direct it at the right part of our human body, and if there's enough power in that energy, if the energy is sufficient, you can kill somebody. You can kill somebody with a pressure wave, which is sound. Sound creates pressure waves. With a really, really high pressure wave, you can kill somebody. When a pressure wave goes supersonic, they refer to these as shock waves, right? So that's the difference between a shock wave and a pressure wave. Is shock waves are supersonic, like when a bomb explodes. But a sufficiently high sound wave can kill you too if it hits you in the head. You know, if you get targeted. I think so. Anyways, this is Golden Gate. It's interesting. So I got targeted yesterday with a classic case of these acoustic sound devices that can also be used. Not only can they damage tissue, but they can also be used to send subliminal messages. And it's hard to convince people that this is true when they don't want to hear it. A lot of these people that I'm encountering, they kind of know this stuff is real, but they don't want to admit it. They're not allowed to. It's supposed to be all a secret. But here's what happened. And I've known these subliminal messages worked. I've known that these existed and they were being used on me for a relatively long time. over since I wrote the blog post demystifying mind control. Actually, the first blog post I wrote was about this neighbor Dorothy I had in Skid Row, off of like San Pedro and 4th Street, kind of. It was it was actually Omar Street. She was actually on Omar Street off of San Pedro. That's where she lived with near her friend, also in a tent on the sidewalk. Her name, she was an African woman. She was either from Gambia or Ghana, she says, one of the two. And her friend, I don't know where she was from, but her name was Grace. And she was there the last time I saw her a few months, 3 months ago maybe, when I was in LA before. She was still there. I haven't seen Dorothy in a while, but she always kind of dressed like a nun. She seemed very ultra conservative, ultra conservative, very literalist when it comes to the Bible. And she was a very small, kind of petite, thin, dark-skinned African woman. And she expressed that she had been abused by her people in her family, her uncle or something or other. Don't quite remember all the details. So anyways, this street here on, this is Turk Street. And I'm going to keep on walking. So what can they do with these subliminal messages? They can literally, if you get lost and you're confused, they can be the deciding factor on which direction you turn. Like say, hey, let's go this way. But it may not have been your idea at all. It could have totally been their idea to get you to turn left right there. Or you think they can get you to think you missed your bus stop. And so I'm hoping I don't miss this intersection. I'm hoping the sign hasn't been removed, because there was a sign here that says, I'm going to pay very special attention, make sure this sign hasn't been taken down. Because this is what I want to show you. So what happened was I was walking this way. At one point, I'm approaching the intersection, and there was a Hispanic woman and her young son on her left, facing my direction, going in the same direction, walking in the same direction. And then so they were about an intersection's distance away from me. So when I start crossing the intersection, they're still going forward. But as I'm just about crossing the intersection, they both stop, and as if like somebody was calling them, like yelling out to them or something, they stopped. And then so now I'm getting closer to them because they had stopped, and they turn around, and they're kind of facing like this way a little bit, but they're standing right over here. And so let's see if I can, maybe this might be the intersection. I'm not sure. We'll see. I seriously hope that sign I'm seriously hoping they didn't take the sign down. Because I really wanted to film it. So let's see. So anyways, so they had stopped. I'll just explain to you what happened. Because you know what, I wouldn't be surprised. This is not it, but it was a white and blue sign, but it was bigger than this, and it was a skinny, narrow sign. So this sign, which is, I don't see it and I haven't passed it. I've been paying very careful attention. I'm not going to miss it if it hasn't been removed. Isn't that something? But this sign said Boys and Girls Community Center, I believe. I know it started with Boys and Girls, and then I think it said Community Center. But these two people in front of me, they had turned around, and so I had to maneuver like this to get around the young boy who was in my way now, because at first they were moving in the same direction. I'm not going to run into them. But since they had stopped and turned around, and then eventually, as I got really close, they started walking in the direction they were facing at that point. And so I had to maneuver around them. And then for some reason, now here's the part where it gets interesting. For some reason, my eyes start to gaze upwards, and there's a blue and white sign, but here's the other part I didn't mention. My vision, because I've been getting poisoned with various compounds that are designed to destroy blood vessels, destroy capillaries, destroy blood vessels. So I've got all this edema, or whatever you want to call it, in my feet and ankles, which I've showed you before in a video, the swelling. And I've showed you that before in a video. But it's also affecting my eyesight. It's affecting my retinas. My retinas are not getting enough blood supply, so my retinas are going bad. And so what happened was so I'm conditioned also. They have me conditioned to read everything as I'm walking. I will often, very often, just start reading things. If I'm on the bus looking out the window, I'll just start reading everything. If a truck passes by, and it has lettering on it or writing on the side of the truck, I'll end up reading it, right? Happens all the time. But anyways, this is O'Farrell Street. I think I should have passed that. I should have approached that sign by now, but I haven't yet. So I'm hoping it hasn't been taken down. I'm hoping it's still up ahead. But anyways, so when I saw this sign, I started reading it, and I read it. I started reading it out loud, and I said book, because my eyes are so bad. I thought I saw the word book, B-O-O-K. And when I got a little bit closer, a few more steps closer, I said, oh. I said, no, it says, and then I did not say it out loud. And I said, look at that. Because what they do is they will choreograph little miniature productions, and they will, because they can do mind reading. And I've explained this in a blog post, Demystifying Mind Control, how it works. It's not too difficult. It's simpler than you think. If I can figure it out, and I'm not a neuroscientist, you don't need to know how to decode brainwaves. You don't need to know how the brain works. Nothing. It's all, in my opinion, based on just imaging the brain and doing a lookup. What does the brain look like when this person says the word dog? What does the brain look like when this person says the word hello? What does the brain look like when this person says, good morning, whatever, right? That's all they do. So they can create sentences with software, put it all together, string it all together to find out what a person is thinking. Because whether they say it out loud or whether they think it inside their head, it'll look the same to the brain. And with good software, it can account for any subtle variations where the brain is also being influenced by different things at the same time. But yeah, I'm really disappointed because I do not see that sign hanging over. It was a sign up top here, not too high, going this way. It was a skinny sign, very much like this coin-op laundromat, only much. You'll see this coin-op laundromat one. It's way too tall. It was about that wide though, but it was much skinnier. But look at these people out here though, right? But yeah, this coin-op, it was blue and white, but it was very thin. It wasn't so tall. Anyways, but that's what happened. I said the word book because I couldn't read. I thought I saw the word book, but they wanted me to say out loud because they're doing surveillance. They're recording me right now, in fact. They're recording me. That guy back there with the gas mask and the pressure washing, they will spray some of these chemicals that'll cause, again, the problem with my blood vessels. I've been poisoned for over 430 consecutive days. Sounds completely insane, impossible, I know, but trust me, it's really happening. But I'm telling you, they got rid of that sign. I should have passed it by now. I haven't. That's some smoke coming out of that manhole back there in front of this car. This is steam, of course, but in any case, I have not passed that sign. And what intersection am I at here? This is Post. I want to make sure I'm not passing where I'm supposed to go here. Am I like going too far? Because I've just been walking and talking, but I've been going 15 minutes in this direction. I must have, yeah, I'm going too far. I've gone too far in my walking and talking. I've gone way too far. They took the sign down because they heard me talk about it last night as I was going to bed. Because this happened yesterday, and then they took that sign down because they knew I would probably try to go back and film it. And now what do I got? Now all I got is you guys knowing that you guys just having to hear what I just told you, that this happened on Hyde Street, which is where I'm still on, and that that there was a sign, and that there was a community center. It said Boys and Girls Community Center. Now here's the thing. I hope that community center was even there, like legitimately there, because they will hang fake signs up solely for the purpose of doing their little production, getting me to read it, and then they'll take it down. Now I know that sounds completely bullshitty, like get the fuck out of here. Who would do such a thing, right? But this is the reality I'm living in. It's true. I promise you, it's true. And tell these people that they're try to look normal. These people, but here's another thing. A lot of these people, you can tell they can't actually afford to live in San Francisco. A lot of these people, you can just tell. And it's the same thing in LA, by the way. In the people they put around me in what I call the bubble, because they don't have to. Cover every single street, just the streets they know I'm going to be walking down. So anyways, I was very careful to look for this sign. This Boys and Girls Community Center is gone. I believe it's gone. I don't know how far I've walked past Ellis. I can't believe I walked that far. This video is now 17 minutes, 44 seconds, and apparently I just totally walked past. So if you want to get on Google Maps or something I should have probably done. Hold on. I gotta free up my hands a little bit. Well, anyways, a lot of times you'll see people who don't cross the street like I do. They'll wait till it actually turns. I'm kind of don't like to be standing around getting targeted and being motionless too long. If you're going to target me, at least give you a moving target, right? So, anyways, yeah, that Boys and Girls Community Center, I don't know where that sign went. I was very careful to look for it the whole time I was walking up. I mean, I'm assuming, if I go back the other direction where I'm now walking back towards the library, looking for Ellis Street, I'm assuming there's no way I passed Ellis, right? I mean, but I must have passed Ellis. So that's why I'm heading back the other direction, because I'm like, I must have passed Ellis. In fact, I think I see it down there. I think I see Ellis down there. Wow, I really did overshoot it. Gonna adjust my arms again. But I promise you, I don't know what to tell you, except just think of it this way. If you believe everything I'm saying, and this is like a deep state operation, and it's massive, it's a national organized criminal enterprise, right? It's national. It's every state. I can only talk about the states I've been in, though. Washington State, Arizona, California, Louisiana, and DC, which is District of Columbia. I can only really talk about those. But if it's going to cover all those, it's going to cover every state. I mean, I was assaulted on American Airlines. I was assaulted on a Greyhound affiliate called Flixbus, Flix, Flixbus, which I don't even know if they're real or if they're just something they put me on, because I got a horror story to tell you about my travels from New Orleans by Flixbus. You know, I bought it through Greyhound, but I thought there was going to be a Greyhound. Next thing I know, it's like, oh, you're going on a Flixbus, which looks just like an old Greyhound, though. You know, like one of the older Greyhounds with no frills on the inside. Anyways, and we had to do multiple bus transfers, of course. But at one point, believe it or not, I'm pretty sure they put me on the same bus I started on as so we were the first bus. Was a shitty bus, a lot of directed entry weapons on it, and I remembered certain features of the bus on the ceiling in the front of the bus. That I just remembered saying, "Oh, look at that thing is kind of flapping around up there on the top right of the bus, near the front of the bus." And then they put me on a second bus. We transfer. I don't remember where exactly, what state we were in or whatever, anything like that, which station we were at. But we transfer buses. Then we get to another station at some point down the road. We transfer again. And I tell you, it was that same first bus again that had clearly been following us or gone on ahead to get there ahead of time, get refueled, etc. They put me on the same bus again. So like I said, these Flix buses, I don't know if they're even real or if it was just for me to be on. But it was totally full, and I was getting brazenly poisoned without anybody even trying to hide it, because they have these reservoirs on some of these phones, which sounds completely stupid and like I'm crazy again. But they have reservoirs on these phones that are thicker than normal phones, and they can press a little button and release this poison that comes out of the phone. Kid you not. And and this was a nightmare bus trip like you would not believe, because I couldn't get off this thing. I had to keep staying on these buses. Anyways, I could tell you about that some other time. But anyways, yeah. But you'll just notice that you know, as we walk around San Francisco, you just get this impression that's like, how can they afford to live here, these people, you know? But the minimum wage is higher, right? I think the minimum wage is close to $25. I think I heard someone at Glide said they make $25 an hour, assuming they can be trusted. They said it intentionally loud so I would hear it, because I had commented that these guys aren't making any money anyways. They're not going to have any retirement. But, you know, whatever. So I'm going to stop this video. I'm heading towards Glide. Maybe I'll resume it when I get there. All right. It's Saturday, October 25th, 2025. Bye.